Ayun! May clap. Baka maingay. Good day! Yan.
Hello
So,
sa inyo lahat.
kamusta mga kawangis? Yan. Medyo matagal-tagal din tayong nawala.
Mga ilang buwan.
Oo, parang isang buong quarter kaming nawala.
Marami nangyari po.
Oo.
May ups and downs din.
Since our last podcast.
So, hindi na nga rin natin alam kung ano episode to.
Ganun katagal.
Hindi natin binibilang.
Since our last podcast, marami nangyari. Roll montage. Lumipat kami ng office noong November. So, the entire month so as you can see, we have an entirely new office. Mas maganda na yung background natin ngayon. Mas maliwanag. Yeah.
More
Hopefully.
spacious, and we can open our doors to you.
Yes,
So, if
and
you're within the area.
we are officially opening the Kawangis Tambayan. So, it's a mini library. And if you are within Imus, Cavite area, feel free to drop by. Kahit hindi ka taga Imus, gusto mong magkaroon ng dahilan, pumunta ng Cavite.
Cross country, charot.
Cross country. Parang laki ng country. So, yun. If you wanna drop by here, our office. Our office is open from Tuesdays to Saturdays, 9 to 6 p.m. Yeah, so, nag-google kami. Alam mo, hindi kami nagtatago. So, just look for Kawangis Publishing sa Google or Wangis Laro at Kwento sa Google and you will be able to find us. And pin that location, you can drop by our tambayan. Pwede makitambay, makipagkwentuhan. Kung introvert ka, this is a perfect spot for you to hide kasi wala masyadong manggugulo sa'yo. So you can just hang out, read.
Pusa lang.
Pusa lang manggugulo sa'yo dito. So yan. So tapos, syempre, December, a lot of, gathering and all that, family stuff. So, yeah, that's why ngayon lang ulit tayo nakahinga para magkaroon ng podcast, and we're happy to kick off 2026 with a bunch of new titles that we are releasing. And today, we're kicking off the year with one of our newest titles created by Faye!
Okay, kunwari, guest ako ngayon.
Kunwari, guest siya. Host-hostan ako
Guest
ngayon.
ako ngayon. Grabe.
Ayun. So today, we will be sharing with you guys. So this will also help. You know us, we've been producing this podcast not just to talk about our products, but also to talk about the creative process, thought process behind how and why we do what we're doing. So that would also help you have that thought process din, ma-develop din sa'yo kung paano mo mabibuild yung mga stories na ginagawa mo din, di ba? So today, we're talking about our new title. Medyo disoriented ako. Ayun.
Joke lang. Bulak.
Bulawan. Yan. So this is not yet the final copy. This is just a mock copy of the book. And right now, naka-pre-ordering as of until the end of the month ng January of 2026. And you can still grab the super discounted version of the book. Okay, so let's talk about the origins of the story. Yeah. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng Bulawan? I mean, maybe some of the audience have heard of this but don't know what it means. Maybe there's a tiny bit na alam nila kung ano ibig sabihin ng Bulawan. And there will be a greater majority who have no idea about the word.
Actually, ako din, I have only encountered the word Bulawan just a few years ago. Nung pumunta tayo sa Cebu. Parang ganun. Bilang mga, I think, Kasi nga majority sa atin ay mga Tagalog, hindi natin alam yung word na Bulawan. Bulawan is actually a Visayan word for gold. So
meron tayong native
mm.
word kasi hindi ginto.
Oo, kasi nga, since the graphic novel is in Tagalog, I was opting to use Ginto. But, the thing is, Ginto is not an endemic word for
I
gold.
think
It's a borrowed
Spanish
term from...
derivative.
No, Chinese.
Chinese.
Oo. So, so that also, I think that also says something about na dahil borrowed term siya, hindi rin endemic sa mga Katagalugan ang Ginto. But for the Visayans, and actually, the Cordillera region also has their own endemic word for
Ayun. So, ibig sabihin, yun yung
Ibig
mga
sabihin,
mayroong gold reserves
they have
talaga.
gold. Oo. So, gold is part of their living even during ancient times. So, yun lang ang hunch ko. Hindi naman ako historian, pero parang may mga bagay tayo na mahilig i-deduce
Oo.
bilang mystery writer.
I think
Ayan.
that's part of the you don't have to be the expert in the field to tell a story about that field. Diba? It's just that you have to have a genuine interest about that topic and do your research, diba, on that topic. Ngayon, on the topic of gold, most people would think, when we're talking about gold, we're talking about jewelries, diba? Or wealth.
Which is true of kasi Bulawan, the story of Bulawan is set in 11th century na Butuan. And back then, it was called Masawa. Masawa. Not the Masawa of Leyte.
Iba pa yun.
It's Masawa. Based on some of the books I've read, they call it Masawa.
Pero what sparked the interest na ano yung defining moment na when you came to that point, you decided na I have to write a book about this?
I have to write a book about this.
Or there's a story to tell.
Ang tawag dito, actually na-share ko ito ng konti sa TikTok account. Uy, may TikTok account ako, guys. Special check. Ang sabi ko na, ang tawag dito, I was working on Maharlika Chronicles 2. So, sobrang detalye kasi nung gold na reference ko for that. Of course, the gold that you see in Ayala Museum. Sobrang detalye siya. And for an age na wala pang machinery, sabi ko, nakakamangha yung kind of yung gold that we're doing. And ano kaya ang kwento nito? Anong society meron nun? Kasi, alam mo yung we know of a lot of stories about the Aztecs, yung Mayan civilization, napaka-glorious culture and all. So parang itong mga artifacts na meron tayo sa Pilipinas, I suppose may mga kwento din yan. So parang gusto ko siyang hukayin na ano yung kwento nito. Kasi may kwento tayo. We do not have to look far dun sa, yun nga, I think Aztecs and Mayan are in the Southern American region. So we have our own And ang ganda ikwento yun na alam mo, rich tayo, we were not colonized.
We may not have the temples, but we have the artifacts.
Oo. At saka yung we are not discovered by the Spaniards. We are our own civilization already. So ang gandang i-put to light yun. And I think na sabi ko nga, parang wala pa yata akong wala akong nabasa na book or literature that is heavily inspired about that. I've seen a webcomic and I've seen a textbook about the ancient Butuan, but not a graphic novel. So I wanted to put that to light and to inspire others na alam mo, ganito tayo noon. We have ancestry na ganito ka-rich. And that hopefully will inspire us to influence us in the future. Something like that.
Interesting. How about, were you able to parang see the actual stuff?
Yeah.
For you to have like, or was this all based on pictures and
No, na pictures lang. Pero I think that was how many years ago. We we went to Ayala Museum kasi nga nandun sa Ayala Museum yung yung mga gold artifacts na nahukay nila from the Surigao Butuan discovery ng mga gold back in the 1980s. Pero that's not all. And we have some sources that say na some higher or rich people from Mindanao actually have bigger loot. And what you see in Ayala Museum is just the smaller
Portion of that.
just the small gold stuff.
Baka may kilala po kayo, baka pwede kami invite. Gusto lang namin makita.
So, syempre,
Hindi
hindi na
namin
natin...
ikukwento.
Oo, parang secret daw. Uy, chismis! So, yun. And it was actually inspired. There's some designer friend from Mindanao convinced us na pumunta kayo sa Ayala Museum, nasa Manila yung gold na natagpuan dito sa Mindanao. If you see that, it will inspire you more. So, when we saw that, nasabi ko, oh, grabe, imagine yung sobrang maliliit na bulitas, beads. How were they able to do that? Yun nga, during the time, 11th century, during the time na walang machinery. Yun. So, very inspiring yung detalye ng...
Actually, there are, I think, some YouTube videos of some historians din explaining. I think that they're not properly termed as historians. More like archaeologists. Na they may mga interviews sila and they're explaining how these things are done or made by the ancient people. And it's really a work, mind-blowing, and it's a work of art. It's a really heavy craft na hindi mo basta-basta matututunan in just one sitting. So it took them years and years para mas mapaliit mo yung detail.
Oo. So, may pattern talaga yung every gold craft na yung maliliit na... Pero pinaka-astounding sa akin is yung halter na ang tawag dun sa Ayala Museum is the Golden Regalia. So, halter siya na sabitan siya ng sword. Tapos ang liliit talaga ng bulitas niya. Tapos it's thick and it's around 4 kilos yung weight. Sabi dun. Siyempre hindi ko ginanon, di ba?
Hindi pwedeng suotin.
Naka-enclose siya. So siya, yun, nakasulat dun na it's around 4 kilos. So it's featured in the book sa Bulawan.
Yeah. I think, it's also in the book. You've been in the publishing industry for a very, very long time.
Ooh.
And you've been creating graphic novels for a decade now.
A decade, yeah. Oh my
So,
goodness.
how does Bulawan feel different from all your other works? Like, from the illustrations of Mai, from Incognito, from Maharlikan Chronicles. So, what makes this stand out?
Parang feeling ko at this point, it's a culmination of my 10 years of working in graphic novel. Kasi nga, di ba, shift, prior to 10 years, I was working with inspirational books. So, yung illustrations ko are not as heavy as graphic novels. Tapos, yung editing ko din is on the text side. So, ganun. So, 10 years ago, yung the shift ng skill na yun, prior to 10 years ago, parang culmination naman ng prior to 10 years ago was the shift of 10 years ago. And then now, I think Bulawan is the culmination of my so far 10 years of tenureship in the graphic novel industry. What makes it different siguro from Mai and Incognito per se, is hindi siya fantasy. Compared to siguro what you might see na merong sidapa, merong sumpa and all, hindi siya fantasy. It's plain drama. Historical drama. Oo. But I do believe kasi na whether it's fantasy or not, we have spiritual beings around us. So there's that element in Bulawan. Para sa akin, hindi mawawala yun sa storytelling ko natin, na there's spirituality around, whether you see it or not. There's that element there. Pero hindi siya fantasy to the point na may superpower yung prince na zoom, ganyan-ganyan and all that. Or yung sa Incognito nga na kaya magpaliyab ng apoy. So, it's a different take. Hindi rin siya ganun ka-action. like what I said, historical drama siya.
So this is your first take on creating a
Drama.
historical drama.
Oo, kasi Incognito tsaka Mai, di ba may slashing and swak, ganyan.
Very, very fantasy sila eh.
Oo,
Or
dami action.
very fictional. This one is more on historical talaga siya.
It's more closer, it's more closer to what Kuya Arthur and I have started in Maharlikan Chronicles. However, kumbaga blend ko yung elements that Kuya Arthur created with Maharlika. Kasi Maharlika, separate yung facts, info, trivia sheets niya versus the comic, the graphic novel side. And actually siya graphic novel kasi maikli lang yung parts ng urduhan niya, which is still inspired by the research that he has done. So, what I did with Bulawan differently is that I merged all of that
into one storyline.
into a storyline. So, all the elements that we found out from the research is incorporated in the story.
So, parang as a reader, you get to be part of that historical moment. You parang you're Marites in the 10th century.
11th century.
11th century. So you're a Marites in the 11th century era. You see these people interacting, facing a problem, trying to find a solution to that, and how did they navigate through that, diba? Yeah, it's very much interesting and curious kasi there's a bunch of characters in all that. Which character would you say you resonated the most?
Hindi ko sure kung spoiler yun. But, to look you in, the protagonist here, yung bida dito is Shaja. He's the, next in line as the Raja of Caraga, the area where, yun, Agusan. He's not the person I resonate with. But there are bilang authors kasi there are
bits and pieces of you
bits and
everywhere.
pieces that resonate me with him. Pero mas malaki yung part that I resonate with someone else.
In the story.
Which, how do I reveal this?
Basta meron doon, isa doon. May isang character doon na you most resonate with. Hirap mag-spoiler eh.
I actually, sige ganito. I resonate with the antagonist. Okay. So yun.
Ay, interesting. Interesting. Ayun. Anyway, springboarding from your tenure with Mais mythology, Incognito is highly supernatural. Tapos now you're delving into historical. Mythology versus reality siya. So, you have merged both of them in the story of Bulawan na people have certain belief system in the story, diba? Tapos and they're faced with real life problems, real life situation, and there's that balance between upholding the tradition and the belief system and all that. Pero curious ako, saan galing yung idea no opposing siguro quote-unquote spirits? Kasi you introduced here si Dapa, parang the goddess of death. Or God of Death. God of Death. Tapos si Burigadang Pada Sinuklang Bulawan. Ang haba ng pangalan niya. Ayaw niya magpadasal. So yun. So you have these two opposing deities in the story. Where did that come from?
Okay. Both we call that in ancient times, hindi ako nagmumura, in ancient times, Yawa is called spirits. Yawa means spirits, hindi siya curse. But in present day, it's a curse for the Bisaya. No?
Kasi shortened siya eh. It's a shortened name. I forgot the name of, there is a underworld god na Yawa yung last name niya. So, parang hindi na binabanggit yung first name, yung last name na lang. Tapos na-associate na yun sa...
All the Yawa.
Oh, pag tinawag kay Yawa, parang you're a demon.
It became bad.
So anyway.
So, during the olden times, Old Bisaya, Yawa, I use that term sa book eh. Yawa is spirit. So, regardless of...
Bad or good.
Oo. So, itong mga Yawa, si Burigadang Pada, si Nuklang Bulawan, at saka si Sidapa, both are deities that were recorded in the epic Hinilawod sa Hiligaynon epic. It's a different island, so Panay region, tama.
Oh, pero it's still within that
Pero
region.
malapit siya sa, kasi I would assume that back in the day, there are interactions and exchange. So I kind of assume na lang natin na these deities were also the same terms from Agusan. Kasi wala kasi masyadong recorded. So I had to fill in yung elements to build up the world noong 11th century based on what I researched from neighboring Kasi ganoon naman tayo, 'di ba, yung meron tayong influence from neighboring islands or neighboring countries. Imagine yung bahasa Indonesia is similar to Bisaya. So I would assume na there are similar cultures.
Not
From
just the
Panay,
word, but also the culture.
Oo, from Panay that are also applied to Agusan or where Masawa is. One of the most connecting evidence there, Burigadang Pada, Sinuklang Bulawan, is Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is the language that they use in Butuan during that time. Which Burigadang Pada, Sinuklang Bulawan is actually the goddess of gold, and Butuan is the gold
mining area
of everything. Bukod pa sa Samar, may Samar kasi, pero we focused on Butuan. So parang kinonek ko na lang siya na ito yung god nila. Which I also got the image of the goddess sa Golden Tara, na yun yung unearthed na artifact na nakita sa isang river daw back in the early 1900s. Pero the idol right now, the statue is in Chicago Museum, not in the Philippines. You don't see that in Ayala Museum. Sayang, no? Maganda kung kasama siya dun sa Ayala Museum.
Ibalik nyo!
Yun, so, tapos Burigadang Pada, Sinuklang Bulawan means,
so may meaning pala yun. Hindi pala yun dahil napagtripan lang siya ng tatay niya, binigyan ng mahabang pangalan para makabayad.
Ang ibig sabihin nun, precious gold, coveted gold. So, yun. So, the goddess demands to always, so parang, tapos may chant sila sa Hinilawod na punish the greedy, bless those who are serving. So, those who are serving is, dito in the story of Bulawan, is those who are offering gold to her. So, parang gano'n. And yun.
So, yun yung pinanggalingan. It's most, the belief system was inspired by Hinilawod.
Not entirely, kasi that's just portion of the story of Hinilawod. More on yung research din is, sino ba yung Golden Tara na nakita nung during the 1900s. It's based on the actual artifact na it's a goddess of the Hindu-Buddhist goddess siya. Pero again, hindi siya exactly what the Hindus and the Buddhists believe. Kasi back then, Butuan may have a different belief system, pero using that that idol. So, wow! Yeah. Meron akong one of the people who reviewed Bulawan, I asked her for edit points for Bulawan, and she's based in Mindanao. Sabi niya, alam mo, napakaganda yung pangalan na Burigadang Pada, Sinuklang Bulawan. Kasi parang, imagine your goddess.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. So sabi niya, parang imagine praying to your goddess every time. It is
exhausting.
It's exhausting to hindi mo nga lang makabisado yung pangalan niya, pero you have to recite her name and then recite the chant that
Comes with it.
Oo, so parang sabi niya, alam mo, it gives you a need na it somehow is exhausting. But for those who have nothing else to believe in, they will do that.
Oo.
Yun.
For those who have nothing else, will have to believe that.
Oo. So in the story of Bulawan, there was nothing else to believe in except that goddess. So,
That's a very interesting thing. Without giving away too much about it, why was it important? Bakit importante para sa'yo na i-challenge yung idea of sumpa or curses versus reaping what we sow? Diba? Yung dahil may ginawa ka, obviously, the law of cause and effect. Tapos some people attribute the effect to curse.
Curses, oo. Oh, kasi alam mo ito
Why was it important for you to put that
Why was
and
it important?
spotlight
Hindi ko
that
man naisip
or
yun.
challenge that in the story?
Naisip ko ba yun? Pero ngayon naisip ko na.
So alam nyo na yung thought process, di ba?
Iba kasi naisip.
Wala sa thought process. Basta lang, nasulat ko lang.
Oo.
Biglang lumabas. Sige.
Poof! Tapos ko crunch. Parang iba yung naisip ko na hindi ko naisip yung angulo na yun. No? Pero, oo nga no, along the way, while binubuo natin yung Bulawan, naisip ko nga na actually it's very applicable to reality na, alam mo yun, let's go to the modern day. We curse God for the bad things that are happening in our lives. Not realizing na actually kagagawan din natin minsan yung, hindi lagi, pero yun nga, minsan kagagawan din natin kung bakit natin nararanasan to eh. Sarili nating kapabayaan or sarili nating ignorance. Kumbaga, so in their sense, they were in the small village of Masawa. They kept doing what they've been doing for generations and generations, not realizing that what they're doing is actually killing the future. The future of their society. So parang, tapos they curse the death god. They curse the death god for the bad thing, the omen that's happening in their society. Not realizing na, alam mo yun, yung magkaroon ka rin minsan ng self-reflection. Na, teka, baka self-inflicted to.
Tama.
Tapos sisisihin mo yung gods for what's happening in your life.
Kaya vote wisely.
Oh my goodness.
Pero I mean, kidding aside, medyo na-carry over natin to present time yung ganong mindset, yung ganong ugali.
And I believe in ancestral memory.
Oo nga, yung genetic memory.
Genetic memory.
Even until now, may ganun tayong behavior as Filipinos na something bad happens, maghahanap tayo ng sisisihin.
Minsan sisisihin mo ang Diyos kasi hindi sinasagot yung panalangin.
Tapos sisisihin mo yung gobyerno, ikaw din naman yung nagtatapon ng basura. So may mga ganun So, it really is reflective. I mean, it happened in the past. It's a historical drama. Pero if you take a moment to actually absorb yung content, it makes you realize na we're still doing this today. In parang chasing after gold, money, di ba? Gold bars.
Right.
And you are not realizing that we are killing our environment, our world.
We're doing something more important.
Yes. In pursuit of maybe not just the environment, we're killing our relationships, our future.
Lahat.
Diba? So it gives you a moment. The book kind of gives you a moment to take a step back. Na ano nga ba yung importante? No? Ganda. And this is the curveball. We've been talking about gold, ancestry, mythology, and faith in the story. Pero there's a hidden golden nugget inside the story. It's cuisine as a culture. Cuisine. Tama ba? Yung cuisine.
Pagkain.
Ulam. Pagkain. So, na-notice ko when I was reading the book na food and food played a huge role in the visuals of the book. So, why did you highlight food as a central part of the story of Gold?
Mm.
Anong
Bakit nga ba?
Oo nga, bakit nga? Meron ka bang nakain na parang, oh, sarap nito, parang ginto.
Hala.
Or parang, ay, lasang bakal.
Ay, di kasi, ganito yung parang yung mga tanong mo kanina, parang sabi ko, bakit nga ba? Bakit nga ba? Kasi, before I started writing the script, and this is a tip that we also give to those who want to create their own stories. Parang, ano yung mga ideas na gusto mo i-include dun sa story. So, I listed that down. Gold, ancient gold of Butuan. I listed down Kansi. I listed down, kasi Kansi parang I wanted to feature.
So, yung sarap nun, ha?
Oo. I wanted to feature.
To our Iloilo, Ilocano followers. Baka pwede pong padala.
Masarap po yung Kansi sa Bacolod.
Kung may luluwas ng Metro Manila.
Hindi na masarap yun. Mas masarap yung bagong luto.
Oo nga, no?
Ayun. So, I wanted to feature Filipino food. I wanted to feature gold. I wanted to feature, tawag dito, inclusivity. So, lahat nun linis ko. So, parang tinatanong mo ako kung bakit ko linagay nun. Kasi nasa bullet points ko yung i-include. Parang gusto ko lahat nitong sangkap nandun sa kwento. So, in-include ko siya.
Okay.
Ngayon, but there is value in putting that. Wag tayo maglalagay ng element sa kwento na walang kinalaman sa kwento. So food is central part of the story.
That's a very good analogy. Na, and this can be also a tip for you guys when you're writing a story. Think of it from the perspective na nagluluto ka. Diba? So, pipiliin mo kung ano yung ingredients na babagay. Just because it's available, ilalagay mo siya. Di ba? Like, ano yan eh, ano bang weird na ano? Let's say for example, magluluto ka ng
Chocolate, talaga yung sinisinga.
Oo, maggagawa ka ng cocoa drink tapos bubudburan mo ng ng sinigang powder.
Malay mo!
Pero I highly doubt that it will work. Pero yun yan, may mga certain ingredients that work together. So, you identify what ingredients. Siguro, important nga dun is yung when you mash up information into a story, tikman mo muna. Or ipatikim mo muna with someone to tell you, parang hindi bagay na may ganito sa story mo or hindi maganda. Or mas masarap siguro kung dagdagan mo ng ganito.
I suppose there were items in my list na hindi ko nagamit sa Bulacan kasi along the way I realized na hindi siya bagay.
O yun.
Like for example, I originally intended that there is a Luzonense in the story, but I entirely scraped it off. Supposedly meron ding aso, but I scraped it off. So parang it did work well in the story and wala siyang significance dun sa story.
Yeah.
So hindi siya bagay. But for the other parts in the list, they work well. Parang ganun.
Yeah, so it again, para ka nagluluto eh. Titimplahin mo a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and until you see na maganda yung output.
And along the way, it made sense.
Okay.
So the cuisine that I featured here in the story is heavily inspired by the mountain tribes.
Basta ancient cuisines.
Oo, and based also on
Hirap sabihin ng cuisine. Mga ancient
cuisine.
na ulam.
Based also on my research. Kasi parang alam mo yung maganda ma-feature yung, ang dami ko kasi fina-follow na yung cultural historian. So ang ganda i-feature na ano ba yung cuisine natin back then, before the Spaniards came. Alam di ba wala pang tsokolate ng time na yun, prior to the Spaniards. So, ano yung klase ng luto na meron nung time na yun, and how does it resonate to us in the present? Yung authenticity of the cooking that they had before. So,
It gets you to discover a little bit about us as Filipinos.
Ito
Diba?
yung roots natin. Ito
Parang
yung,
it makes sense na bakit ganito panlasa natin. Bakit
Oo.
ganito yung mga trip natin.
bakit laging may suka?
Oo.
Oo.
May sabaw,
Sabaw.
may inihaw. Mga
Oo.
ganon.
So, yun.
Oh,
Yun,
okay,
exactly. Yun.
So yun, those are some of the things. If you're a foodie, this is not just about, again, it's not just about jewelry and artifacts, diba? It also talks about food and the history of food. So, might be something worth for you to discover. Speaking of discovery, diba? You worked on tawag dito, historical drama. So, that involves a lot of research. And when you dive into the rabbit hole of research, and trust me, it's a rabbit hole. Parang one thing leads to another, and then you realize, ilang araw na yun naubos mo, wala ka pang sinusulat. Yan. So,
At least busog ka.
pero naligaw ka na. So, when you dive into the rabbit hole of history, what is the most surprising thing that you discovered about ancient Filipino culture?
Madami.
Pick one.
Oh my goodness. Ang dami elements na nandito, basahin nyo muna. Pero, surprising about Filipino culture. It always surprises me, whatever elements that I find out about Filipino history. Especially yung, ewan ko, parang feeling ko mas may fascination na sa pre-colonial history ngayon kaysa sa ano. Lagot tayo, malalaglag si Incognito. Pero I think I will answer but not exactly on that question. There was one surprise that I included in the story na sabi ko baka ang tawag dito, baka ma-bad shot ako if I put it out this way kasi very controversial yung part ng story na yon.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is serendipitous and
Divine providence siya.
Divine providence siya. Kasi sabi ko, napaka-controversial ng part na yun ng story and it's very central to the plot and I don't have historical backing for it. Pero lo and behold, at the last part of making Bulawan, meron pala siyang historical backing. Kasi most of my references were heavily Baxter Codex, the Topica Fetas accounts, and then there's another book by Father Alcina, The History of the Visayas in the Philippines. So back then, what do they do with infants born with disabilities? It was historically back then. So doon ako na-surprise na even if I did not research on it prior, it was divine providence. Tama yung plot mo, it's historically back. So,
Doon lumalabas yung ancestral genes.
oh my goodness.
So parang for some reason your body remembers.
No!
They did
It's
this in the
great.
past. Yun.
It's horrid, pero kung titignan mo, parang kung magsi-self-reflection ka, ginagawa pa rin ba natin sa present day? You be the one to answer.
In a way, parang oo.
Diba?
Kasi if you think about it, diba, I mean, just plain and simple labas ka. Diba? Tignan mo kung yung lahat ng dinaanan mo, kasi if you're a fully able-bodied person, tignan mo lahat ng dadaanan mo, kung kaya ba yung daanan ng naka-wheelchair. And you will more often than not notice na it's not accessible. So in a way, we are still in the present time killing the opportunities for people with disability na we don't provide them the access.
Yes.
Diba? So, maglalagay ng wheelchair, 45 degrees yung angle. Wheelchair ramp, 45. Sino makakakit? Kahit nga may paa ka, hindi ka makakakit sa 45 degree na angle na ramp. So, they usually put that for compliance with the requirement ng local government. Pero, it's not logical. Or,
hindi tama
yung
process nung
yung mga tawiran, may pedestrian lane, yes. But the pedestrian lanes are flat. So, if you're a blind person, hindi mo alam kung nasan yung pedestrian lane.
O kaya for someone who has a wheelchair, walang ramp pataas.
Wala ding ramp papunta sa
sidewalk.
kabilang side. Walang ramp papunta sa side.
At bilang industrial engineer, tumataas ang presyon mo sa mga ganon.
Totoo. I mean, that's the reality eh. Kumbaga parang, yes, hindi nga natin sila literally pinapatay, pero we're killing their opportunities. We're killing their access, their accessibility. You go to a mall or to a building, the elevator, yung mga buttons, walang braille. So, it's not something accessible for the blind person. So, mangyayari, roleta, random ano siya, press ng button, and then good luck, cross your finger kung makarating doon sa pupuntahan.
Yun din.
These are some of the things na I think until the present time, we are not yet still, as a nation, aware and not just aware we're not deliberately making action towards that. So
that's why I appreciate na in our small way, even the other writers that you know, they're putting voice through the books. And other people also, other individuals are giving accessibility with what they can.
Yes.
It may not be on the global, on the
national
scale,
level.
pero at least we can do something. Bulawan is also in that intention.
It started with within their nation, within their tribe lang muna. They did not make efforts to resolve the problem of everyone in the world, hindi world domination, but rather focus on that small nation. Sa sarili mong bakuran muna.
Yeah, corrected. Oh.
So now let's shift. We've talked about the intention, the inspiration, and all that. This book is targeted for young adults. So we're talking about 16 plus readers, and I've seen it. We'll give you guys a quick preview. It's super colored and very detailed yung mga illustrations. Yeah. So, given the book is for slightly older audience, how did it change yung approach mo sa art style?
Siyempre, hindi siya katulad ng Mai.
Ang layo niya. Ang layo niya sa Mai, ang layo niya sa Incognito.
Well, Incognito is quite the same, target age. Mm-hmm. Although it's colored. It's more like Maharlikan Chronicles talaga. Yung detalye, parang...
So, it's more inspired by how you did si Maharlikan Chronicles.
Oo. Mai has a different attack kasi talaga it's for the younger kids. But but interestingly, your 7-year-old girl wants to read Bulawan.
She wants to read anything.
And this is actually dedicated sa kanya. Kasi her name is Zareen. In Farsi, it means gold. Yun. Siya yung yun po. Ayun. So, bakit 16 plus ang rating? Sa Kawangis kasi meron tayong rating eh. No? So, hindi siya like Zugbo is for all ages, Mai is for 7 plus, Bulawan, Incognito.
No. Zugbo is 7 plus.
7 plus lahat.
Oo, si Mai is for 10 up. Yeah. 10 plus.
So, yun, may categorization. Bulawan kasi, yung plot niya is complicated for the younger reader. And like what my daughter said, sabi niya, I don't like this part. Yeah, exactly, that's why it's for teenagers. Kasi baka it's too hard for you to understand yet yung plot nung story. Kasi it's complicated.
Kasi may mga complex topics that you tackled
at
here. That's the importance din of age appropriating yung content. It's not just about violence, it's not just about sex or gore that categorizes a book, but also yung complexity ng story. I remember when we had a workshop many years ago with Doc Luis and Teacher Grace Chong. They explained na you contextualize the book, the story according to the age. So you can talk about heavy topic to a young audience by basically translating it into their language na naiintindihan nila. And of course, the younger your reader, the more bipolar yung story. When you say bipolar, hindi pa bago-bago na isip pa.
Clear cut yung good and bad.
Yes, clear-cut yung good and bad. So as your audience mature, the more nagbe-blend over yung bipolarity, mas nagiging monochromatic siya than bipolar. So yun yung transition. So I think this one is more on already on the monochromatic side na you get to see two sides of the story and then okay, this is what's causing the rift, and apparently
And sometimes what seemingly is good is
not
actually bad. And what seemingly is bad is actually good.
Yes. Yeah. So context is key. Siguro segue a bit since we're talking about art and creative design. How did you do this? Was this traditionally done or digitally done?
How did you do this? Sino yun? Magic! Joke lang.
Yan.
Mm.
Walang matino.
How did I do that? Ayun.
Sabi nga ni Zine, how did you do this?
Kwento ko rin yun sa, dun sa isang clip ko sa TikTok. I was thinking about it 2022 pa lang, a bit after I finished Maharlikan 2. I was already working with Maharlikan 3 noon.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos iniisip ko na yung script niyan. 2023, I sat down to it and did more research on how to flesh things out. 2024, tinencil sketch ko siya. Did back and forth with him, my editor, for the storyboard. Ang gulo ko ng storyboard kasi, yun, basta storyboard. Tapos, kasi diretso ako sa manuscript na nagsa-storyboard kasi tamad ako. So, minsan, may mga major changes din sa story. So, I had to scratch off entire pages and redraw everything. And then in 2005, last year, ayun na, nag-inking and painting. Kasi kasado na, parang ito na talaga yung kwento, wala nang bawas dagdag. Pero at the last part, meron pa rin, back then nung July, may mga dinagdag pa akong pages. Which made the story complete. When we said, okay, ito na, wala na talaga. Wala na idadagdag. Yan, sa buo na si Bulawan.
This is 160 pages na book. 3 years in the making, and now finally it's
But although I
coming
did,
out.
I did a lot of in-between work with that. Siyempre may mga outside projects, we have other books that I also have edited and admin stuff, kawangis. So it's hard having all those hats. So ang hirap maupuan. Pero last year nakakagulat ako. And suddenly, ganun, nung like second to the last week of December yata or third to the last week of December. Something forced me to finish it. Kasi may requirement. Basta may requirement. Tapos parang ako, alam mo yung linis na lang siya at saka konting tweaks ng design. Hindi ko pa matapos because I'm still working on another project and alam mo lagi siya nahuhuli. Pero
na-push.
The divine wisdom really, God. Talaga, tapos mo yan. Bago matapos ang 2025, tapusin mo yan. Tinapos namin. Tapos, kasi kailangan natin buuin yung libro para ipalipad natin sa France. So, yun po yun. Pero fingers crossed, Lord willing, na
We have something good to announce.
Oo. Well, actually, hindi naman siya secret, but we submitted it as an entry for the International Board of Books for Youth / UNESCO entry for collection of books
That
on
features
endangered and indigenous.
Endangered language and indigenous stories. So, perfect fit siya doon. Kasi you used here
Sanskrit a lot.
Sanskrit and some
Old
of the
Bisaya.
Old Visayan language na currently we're no longer using it, so it's practically
Yeah, like what I said nga yung yawa kanina, iba na ibig sabihin niya.
so nag-evolve na siya, so it's kind of dead in that sense.
And also yung indigenous food. I think kasi part yun ng criteria nung
Oo,
judging
tama.
nila. I
Indigenous
think. So, hopefully.
Interesting.
Natapos siya. Ayun.
Just for the fun of it, magandang idea to. If ever, may mag-cosplay ng Saja, tapos we have dinner with him,
Oh my goodness.
anong ulam ang ipe-prepare mo at ipapatikim mo sa kanya?
Dapat si Shaja talaga.
Oh, sige, si Saja mo. What if si Saja, you get to, naisikay ka sa mundo ng Bulawan, and ikaw yung,
Habang ginagawa ko nga to, sorry, lang, inside scoop lang. Habang ginagawa ko to, sabi ko, nakausap ko lagi si God. Sabi ko, God, I'm writing a story about a dead person. Kasi, just so you know, si Shaja is really based on an actual Raja na he's part of the history of the Songshi Annals sa China during the 11th century. So siya yun, si Shaja. Sabi ko, I'm writing a story about this dead person. And I wonder if this is the real story or masyado ko siyang pinapabango sa kwento na ito. Sabi ko, Lord, ikaw nang bahala. Ikaw nakakaalam kung ano yung totoo eh. Kung ito talaga siya or hindi siya talaga ito or I made it up. So regardless, sige, I will sit in dinner with the Saja of Bulawan.
Ano ang ipe-prepare mo? Anong ihahain ng dish? Pesto.
Oh my goodness. Past life ko yun. Grabe. Oo nga.
French fries. Potato corner.
Actually, ano ba itong... Actually, una ko naisip, yung kung ano yung putahe na huling hinain dito. Pero hindi ko sure if that's a cohesive answer.
Hindi. Kasi sinerve na yun sa story. Ikaw, as Faye.
Kasi ako yung mga luluto ko embedded in the story.
Corny. Kwenta yung sabi.
Bigyan ko siya ng adobo.
Longganisa.
Honestly, ang naisip ko na bigyan ko siya ng adobong dilaw. Kasi gold siya.
Tsaka yun yung
una nilang kinain.
Tsaka expertise mo yun eh.
Oo. Ay, expertise ko.
Dati hindi marunong magluto ng adobo yan.
Trivia, adobong dilaw ay also yung favorite food ni Emilio Aguinaldo.
Oh. Interesting.
So, adobong dilaw is made with turmeric. And turmeric has high properties of anti-cancer and anti-toxicity. So,
Galing.
pero toxic.
Interesting. Okay. So, thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Thank you for that wonderful answer.
Scripted.
Ay, nako. Anyway. You have a book here. Ano yan? Isa sa mga
This
reference
is one of
mo?
my references published by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines.
Oo nga pala. Since we're talking about historical book, what are your references? Would you want to share a bit about it?
Oo, some of my reference actually, hindi ko na isulat na lahat, but there are some ay nandito sa asan na? Nandito sa likod yung references na ginamit ko. Pero mostly is Baxter Codex. Ito, Pigafetta's Philippine Picnic. At may buntot dito.
Sumasali sa usapan.
Pakita mo, gusto niyang magpakita. Ang unang barangay ni Virgilio Almario, published by Adarna. The Gold of Ancestors. Ito yung sa Ayala Museum display. I also got references from Sir Ambet Ocampo. Kasi ito nga kay Father Ignacio Alcina, History of Visayan People. Talagang binasa ko, no? Tapos I also had snippets of, because I could not acquire the entire book kasi sa foreign lands available, yung Butuan in 1,000 Years, I was able to get at least a short article written by the same author, si Greg Hontiveros. Ayun. And then some from the Bulwagan Foundation, The Kingdom of Butuan. So these are just some, but there are a lot others. If you are interested to get this, it's available in the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Mapafascinate ka sa anong klase ng pagkain meron before the Spaniards arrived. Kasi ito, based on Pigafetta's diary, kinochronicle lang niya kung ano na yung meron doon. So, this was without the interference
Without
pa.
the Spanish influence pa.
So, a lot of
It's
that
interesting
is
to learn.
from here. Pati yung dictionary that
Mm.
he used is from here. Salamat kay Pigafetta, bagamat isa siyang, by the way, hindi siya Espanyol. Si Pigafetta ay isang Italiano.
Oh, kaya particular siya with the
With food, I guess. Oo.
Okay. Hmm.
So those who are with Magellan are a mix of not just Spaniards. Magellan is also Portuguese.
Oo nga.
So, di ba? So, ganun. I think that's why Pigafetta was particular with
With the
Food.
food.
Italians are particular with food.
Oo. And for an Italian to take note of it, ibig sabihin, it was good.
It fascinated him. It was good.
Diba?
And God said it was
This book is suggested that nature returns the favor, diba? And when we take care of it, ano yung pinakang key takeaway? Or ano yung na-envision mo na takeaway ng isang reader when they read Bulawan? As the one who created it. Parang if they don't remember everything, at least what's that one thing that would stick to them?
Well, I think two things kasi since you mentioned about this actually also tells about environmentalism. That's why there's food. That's why there's good food is because there's good environment. And if there's not good environment, there's no good food. So I
So
think
it goes hand in hand.
the one takeaway is that hopefully yung we take care of at sabi dito sa isang page dito na sabi ng isang character na alagaan mo yung lupang biniyaya sa'yo at siyang lupa na yan ang mag-aalaga sa'yo. So that's one takeaway. Because kailangan natin yan eh. You can do things in your own small ways to lift up our environment.
Yeah.
Kasi otherwise talagang makakasakit tayo. Look how COVID happened because the nature had to reset.
Yeah.
Tapos siguro another takeaway. Actually, the one takeaway that I really hope that the readers will remember is that yung part of growth is not to settle on what you know or what you know. Kasi, di ba, we're growing. Every year we're growing, like a child growing. Ganyan. Kahit adults tayo, we're growing. And dapat kasama sa growth, yung nag-grow din yung utak natin. Yung, kwento ko lang ng konti kasi back in 2024, dumaan kami sa neurolinguistic programming. And that revolutionized a lot of my thinking and actually navigated how I will complete Bulawan. Na there were a lot of times I was stuck in the wall na paano aandar tong kwento kasi ito yung predicament ni Koya tapos ito yung situation. So parang alam mo yun, I was stuck in the wall na paano ko iusad yung kwento ganito. Tapos nung dumaan tayo sa neuro-linguistic programming, na-realize ko na yun yung open door. So sometimes our mindset starts with this and we built our entire life with that. Pero napaka-importante na siguro minsan i-challenge natin what we used to believe in and see what we can take in for the future so that makita natin na parang itong mga results ng ginagawa natin ngayon, if you don't want the results of what's happening right now in your life, maybe there's a mindset that we need to change para iba yung results ng future natin.
Tama.
So yun yung isa sa major takeaway ko, hopefully, ng mga readers. Na sometimes, a growth mindset ba?
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to challenge what we believe in.
Ayun, I think that would be the key takeaway for, hopefully, na when you read Bulawan, you would be able to say to yourself, it would make you take a step back and challenge the things that you thought you know and the things that you believed in for a very, very long time. Akala mo this is normal. Yes, apparently, there are better ways pala. Kami kasabihan kami sa IE na there's always a better way. And that's a statement from, ano, if I'm not mistaken, sana hindi ako mali, Alexander Graham Bell, na nagsabi, there's always a better way. Pero baka mali ako. Kasi hindi ako nakinig sa klase. Matanda ko lang yung quote. Anyway, Bulawan is currently, as we are recording and we're gonna be posting this in a few days. It's still in pre-ordering phase. The links are at the description below. And if you're watching this beyond January, it's gonna be available in our Shopee store. And soon, it's gonna be available also on our partner bookstores nationwide. So it's gonna be in Fully Book. Ano pa ba? We have retail partners. You can check out our website for the list of who is the closest in your area. Yeah. So it's gonna be out there. And of course, worst case scenario, there's always the Shopee, TikTok stores that you can check out.
Hopefully we'll launch it sa Philippine Book Festival.
Yeah, we're planning to launch this on March sa Philippine Book Festival. Hopefully. No. We're claiming it na. We'll be there. We'll do the launching there of Bulawan. So if you want to grab one of your first copies, have it signed by Faye during the event and take photos with her. If you already pre-ordered, thank you so much for helping us out on the production of this book. You get like super special limited stuff from Faye. Diba? Mag-aabono siya for that. Yan. Papamigay niya yung mga coloring materials na ginamit niya for this. Medyo. Yan. So it's gonna be available. The links are gonna be provided dyan sa baba. Just feel free to scroll down. May silbi yung description. Yan. Okay, so after Bulawan, anything exciting that you're working on, your followers, your fans?
I think something exciting that we are working on in Kawamis, no?
You.
Ako, as an author.
You. As an author.
Kasi as an editor, kasi ang dami nating yung ginagawa.
Papagawa natin yung sa mga writers.
But we do have, this year we have a lineup of interesting games. New games na ilalabas natin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, on the book side, we have, eto sigurado na to, 2 new historical graphic novels ulit.
Okay.
Ha?
Sure yun na yun, ha? Kung nagsabi, ha?
Yun. Other than that, meron tayong Philippine classic.
Yeah.
Tama, no?
Filipino classic stories.
Filipino classic na shish.
Na-shish.
Imagine nyo yun, di ba?
Basta, it will come out.
Sige. Huwag po kayong mag-alala, Incognito is still continuing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to release a couple of chapters this year. Hopefully May. Pero I think I will be able to produce Incognito this year.
Yeah, we're trying to revamp everything that we're doing in Kawangi so that we can have, especially for the series titles, we have a more consistent schedule ng releases so that you, the people who are reading, our readers, not just for Mai or Incognito, but all the Kawangi's books that you are reading, mayroon kayong consistent na makukuha bagong storya, bagong kwento. And thank you so much for hanging out with us today and for staying for this entire time and learning more about our new book,
Yay!
Bulawan. Alright, and that's a wrap for today sa Kawangis Tabayan. So thank you for hanging out with us. Wala man kayo dito physically. Hopefully you can grab the opportunity if you're around the area or yun nga, gusto mo mag-road trip papuntang Imus, Cavite. So you're more than welcome to drop by here sa office. Gusto mo makipaglaro, makipagkwentuhan. We have a ton of games over here. We have a ton of books that you can read. You can hang out. You know, the doors are open. We finally open the windows so far to I didn't do it. Mali-mali lyrics ko. I never knew they do that anymore.
Para si Zina lang.
Oo nga eh. So yeah, we're so happy that we finally have a more welcoming space for people to come by. Yeah. Okay, sa susunod, see you guys again next month for our, we'll try to do this more regularly.
We'll be talking naman, we'll be having
Check out next month.
Levi and Tin. Maya Malipayon naman ang
Can you get
pag-usapan
the
natin.
book?
Yeah.
Yeah, so next month, we'll be talking about one of our new titles as well, Maya Malipayon. Ano ba siya? Sino ba siya?
Paano ba siya?
Paano ba siya? Saan ba siya? Yun. So we'll talk more about that, and hopefully you were able to pick up something new today other than the new title. Sana yung mga sumusubaybay sa amin para may matutunan, paano gawin yung mga stories na ginagawa nyo. Sana may natutunan kayo, may napulot kayo from Faye para mas move forward mo yung yung story mo. Yeah. Okay, and
Thank you.
let's keep fighting, and we are very, very excited for the future of the comic industry in the Philippines. Thank you, everyone. God bless.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.